What is up, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started on tonight's review of Friday Night Smackdown from Louisville, Kentucky. Fun fact: Louisville, Kentucky was the exact place that hosts Judgment Day 2000. You remember Judgment Day 2000 with Chris Jericho versus Chris, and of course, the amazing Iron Man match between Triple H and The Rock with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee, featuring returning Undertaker with a new biker persona. Just wanted to point out that fun fact for you. And also, today is the Ultimate Warrior's birthday, would be the Ultimate Warrior's birthday. So, in honor of that, in this review, leave your comments on how you feel about tonight's episode of SmackDown. But also, I would like to ask all of the fans watching to leave a comment below. What was your all time favorite Warrior match? My top favorite matches from the Ultimate Warrior have to be Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6, and the Macho Man Randy Savage at the next year's WrestleMania 7. Also, speaking of The Undertaker, that was the year he debuted. And another great match that I enjoyed from The Warrior was the body bag match between Warrior and The Undertaker at Madison Square Garden 1991 in July. But those are my favorite Warrior picks. Let me know what are yours. That does it for those early announcements. Let's get to the show. We opened up with the Street Profits versus the Brawling Brutes, and the Street Profits were eliminated very quickly due to Sheamus's brogue kick to Angelo Dawkins. And now we have to be concerned that the Street Profits could very well go villain. Then we have the OC coming in, who were eliminated in quick fashion also because Carl Anderson decided to pose on the turnbuckle post after he thought he had Sheamus down. Don't pose when you're fighting with Sheamus. You just don't do it. In any event, having that being said, we saw the LWO was eliminated, and then we saw Flop Dollar get brogue kicked and pinned by Sheamus. And from this moment on, thank you, Michael Cole. Flop Dollar is his new name, not Top Dollar, Flop Dollar. That's going to trend. So, we have that being said, and for some strange miracle, the Pretty Deadly guys came in and won the match in quick fashion despite the Brutes doing all the work. However, they continued to celebrate, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out. And of course, I was wondering when Kevin Owens was going to blow up. He didn't. This was the first night Kevin Owens did not really blow up, but he still ran to the ring to fight. And the pretty guys ran like scalded dogs, in the words of Jim Ross. Then we have Io Sky versus Zelina Vega in a short match tonight. We saw Bailey distracting. Bailey tried to be a distraction towards Vega, but it ended up working against Io Sky, and Vega would end up winning. Don't underestimate Vega. Then later on in that night, Bailey and Io would chat, and Shotzi would challenge Bailey to a match where her spot at the Money in the Bank match was on the line. Speaking of Bailey, for those of you who did not see it, be sure to check out my top 10 favorite matches from the role model and the woman that loves Michael Cole, Bailey. And also, I have some funny community posts that I've been sending out, so be sure to check those out. And also, moving forward, we have Grayson Waller hosting Charlotte Flair. And fun fact, I will say this: they talked about championships. I do believe that Charlotte will break her father's record of being the 16-time world champion. That is inevitable, obviously. But then, after they talked about that, Bianca Belair comes out, not Bianca. Does everyone from Europe say Bianca? I just wanted to point that out because it's just something funny that's been going on lately. Not just from Barrett either. But in any event, when Bianca comes out to address the issues, we had ourselves a pretty good promo because Charlotte, who returned last week, mentioned that she's a champion with or without the championship. I'm get ahead of myself. It started off with Bianca accusing Charlotte of walking away. Charlotte defended herself by saying, I didn't walk away. I stepped away, but I didn't run away. And I picked myself up 14 times. And while you are owed a rematch, so am I because I never got a rematch either, which is a fair point from a scripted standpoint. However, then it got really good when Charlotte said, I am champion with or without the title. That's interesting because as much as I respect Charlotte, I think she's a cool wrestler to watch when she's a babyface. Now, when she's a heelish wrestler, it's much more easier for me to boo her. Now, if she's a babyface, traditionally I might be able to rock with it. But it's interesting that she says that because if that is true, then why isn't she having angles that does not involve championships? Because the first person to say let's have an angle with her not being champion, Vince McMahon is going to throw out the window, as you saw in some of those community posts. I just thought that was so funny. But in any event, moving forward, I found it very interesting that she should say that. I just really did. Because she's been in the championship picture and not a part of a Trish Stratus like angle of the passing of the torch in a long time. So then Bianca comes in and tells truth when she says, yeah, you might have been champion so many times, but I'm the longest reigning champion. And that is true. And she took, and much like MJF took a page out of Cross's playbook, Bianca, not that she needed to, took a page out of Mandy's playbook, demanding respect on her name. And with all due respect, the only difference between Bianca and Mandy is Bianca didn't have to do anything PG-13 outside of the ring. Now, fun fact to Mandy's defense, it is not explicit, but do what you want. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. But moving forward, that promo that they had was very amazing, and I thought it was really good. And like I said, I really think it would be an epic triple threat match. However, it is a dream match, in my personal opinion, to have Bianca versus Charlotte Flair at some point. That, whether it's for a title or not, needs to happen, in my personal opinion. I think that would be awesome. Dream match for the ages. We have the OCs, AJ Styles and Mia Yim versus Scarlet Witch and no, I'm thinking about the Avengers. Scarlet Witch and Karrion Kross, who, by the way, is growing hair. Now, imagine this. Karrion Kross with his dark persona with black hair like The Undertaker. No one will ever come close to The Undertaker, but imagine this dark persona with long black hair like that. Interesting. But also, something very entertaining happened during the SmackDown short match. AJ Styles was once again attempted seductory by Scarlett. First of all, is it true that Scarlett is a skilled medium like the Long Island woman? Because I did not know that. I'm just curious about that. But I did not know if that's true or if that's from a scripted standpoint. So, for those of you watching, if you're a Scarlett fan, let me know Does she have skills as far as being a medium is concerned? Because I did not hear anything about that. Know anything about that. Either way, moving forward, Scarlett tries to be seductive to AJ Styles, and AJ Styles, in the meme of the decade, a married witch. I mean, that's best one of the best memes ever. A married witch, a married Jezebel. Get thee behind me, Satan. Just kidding, guys. But either way, and by the way, for those of you who are think that you want to get close to Poison Ivy in red, think about what happened last week before you get all excited. Just saying. Jeez. Excuse me. But in any event, moving forward, Cross has a new finisher, and now Cross is back to being an unbeatable, tough monster heel. I mean, he hasn't been a tough monster heel since I don't know Drew McIntyre's rival since losing to Drew McIntyre, and that one good time he had a victory over Rey Mysterio. Sorry, there's a net. Um, but other than that, he hasn't been too tough and in a winning way lately. Tonight he returns to that. And speaking of guys who are just not in a winning streak, Baron Corbin has to attack Cameron Grimes to make himself feel strong because Corbin just can't get it. He couldn't get it with Magic Mike. He couldn't get it with the help of JBL. He just can't seem to get it. Had to go back to NXT to do it. And of course, we have Rey Mysterio getting love and support from Santos Escobar and from the fans. LA Knight comes in and attacks. Then we have a match between those two. And of course, as we've noticed, LA Knight is really getting over with the crowd. And soon he is going to be acknowledged as a babyface fan favorite because of his mannerisms. It's almost like The Rock in the late 90s. A little bit of that vibe as far as if you're looking back. But nonetheless, LA Knight wasn't his night, but he still has a lot of momentum in my opinion. But tonight, momentum goes to Santos Escobar so that the LWO can continue their momentum as well. Now, let's get to what I really want to talk about. Jey Uso makes his decision. Earlier tonight, we had KB try to get an interview with Roman Reigns, got shooed off. Paul Heyman looks at his crush because Paul likes Kayla. Paul Heyman looks at his crush, Kayla Braxton, in disgust for whatever reason. That's no way to look at someone you love. In any event, in the end tonight, we had Jey Uso being told to make his decision. Then we have a whole Jerry Springer like family drama or a soap opera, as which is very good, by the way. As we also saw Sami Zayn and Jay have a facial moment backstage where the fans start chanting Usi, which Sami started. Then back to matters at hand. First off, quick question. Why is Paul Heyman still carrying the old titles? And what's funny is all the championships look alike. I'm just saying, all the titles look alike. You got a blue title, that title right there, and then you got the gold one. They all look alike. Can any some of if you have not seen my short on me impersonating Kevin Owens, be sure to check that out. I'm sure you'll get a good laugh. Thank you to the 3 who gave likes on that. No, to the 4 of you who gave likes on that. Thank you so much. But Jey Uso was told that Jimmy had a problem with him being the right hand man. And of course, Jey confirmed it was true because he knew that Roman was using him. And watch this, and I kid you not, this is not a lie. When Jey looked at his brother Jimmy and said, "Well, guess what? You know what? You're out." I immediately knew he was going to say, "Because I'm out too." Bam, super kick. I knew that was coming. This is no lie. I try to be a very honest person because that's just the way we should all be. I honestly, as God is my witness, knew, predicted that when he said, "You're out," I knew he was going to say, "I'm out too." Super kicks and all. And they all begin to rain on Roman and Solo Sikoa. I knew when he said, "You're out," I knew that whole thing was going to transpire. I didn't know for sure who Jay was going to stand by. I had my hopes on who Jay would stand by. I was hoping he would stand for Jimmy. But when he said, "I'm out," that's when I knew it was on and popping. And I knew when Jay went and got mad at Jimmy, it was all part of the plot. And now the bloodline as we know it is no more. Now Solo Sikoa is the right hand man. And truth be told, Solo has been the right hand man. And earlier in the night, we saw Roman Reigns make biblical allusions to Moses and Joshua in the Bible when he said, I'm I'm leading us. Roman said he leads them to the promised land while Jay was supposed to keep them there. Now Roman is Moses, but this time Solo will be the Joshua. But in this case, Moses and Joshua are the villains in the story, whereas in the Bible, they were the heroes. Nonetheless, one of the greatest endings in an amazing storytelling to SmackDown tonight, in my personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts of Friday Night SmackDown. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share with your friends. And this is about to be an interesting weekend because if you thought tonight's ending was good, I can't wait to see what happens when CM Punk returns to Collision tomorrow night. This weekend is about to be off the chain. See you next time, everybody, and have a good one.